everyone, how's it going? I am iamxeracon here, and I am back with another video, and a rant video at that. Now, this isn't a video that this isn't a video that I had a desire to make. Like I said before in my Logan Paul video, I want to keep serious stuff like the Logan Paul topic and, like stuff like politics off my channel and just focus on fun, geeky stuff. However, because of the nosedive that quite a few fandoms that I'm a part of and hobbies and stuff are taking, I feel like I should be talking about this, and, just speaking out about this. Keep in mind that this is going to be quite controversial, what I'm about to say, so you might want to stop now and just, leave, which I don't blame you, but, I'm just going to jump right in with it. So, first topic I'm going to start off with is Star Wars. Now, sorry, just making sure I am sticking with everything and don't sidetrack or get sidetracked or anything. So I'm going to start with Star Wars. Now, The Last Jedi is the most divisive installment in the franchise to date. There was bad writing, there was a poor display of character personality in Luke, and the greatest sin, SJW pandering. And it's this type of thing that has poisoned franchises that I love in order to try to draw in people who probably don't even care or care about it, and then they're also they're turning away the fans who love what they had before and stuff like that. And regardless of the problems of the prequel trilogy that they had, I mean, there were problems with the prequel trilogy, but they weren't like they are like the new trilogy is. They were capable of drawing in people because of the firm fan base. The fans would see it. They didn't try to draw people in because of diversity or anything like that, or any sort of thing like that. The new trilogy is trying to do that, though. They're trying to appeal to a certain demographic by having new material and elements and stuff, all in the name of diversity and and stuff like that, and even making up the Mary Sue that is Rey. Now, I want to say that I have nothing wrong. I don't have a problem with diversity in itself, but forced diversity and pandering is a big problem to me. Disney executives say that people like me hate strong females and minority characters, but they do forget that these characters have been in Star Wars before. Let me see. Make sure I'm not going off topic again. Okay, cool. I'm right on track. Like in the original trilogy, you had Princess Leia, who was a strong female character, and she's a fan favorite in the Star Wars universe. And then also you have in the original trilogy Lando Calrissian, who was a hero who helped blow up the second Death Star. They don't talk about that. And then in the prequel trilogy, you have Padme Amidala, who was a part in the Battle on Geonosis, and then you also have Mace Windu, who beat Darth Sidious in a duel, which is something that not even Yoda was capable of doing. So you see, to say that Star Wars doesn't have diverse characters or strong female roles is complete lie, and either Disney is ignoring that fact and they're just straight up lying to us, or they're just or they just don't care about that and they're just trying to do their own sort of thing, which is also a possibility. Oh yeah, and then also, while she didn't receive much screen time, another character who definitely is popular among Expanded Universe fans, even though Expanded Universe is not canon now, was Aurra Sing, the bounty hunter. You saw her briefly in Episode 1, but looking at it from the Expanded Universe, Aurra Sing, she was a major bounty hunter up there with Jango Fett and Cad Bane, for example. And she also helped to train Boba Fett, um, since he was orphaned after episode 2. So, it's not to say, we don't have these roles or certain characters. We do have them there. It's just that, Disney refuses to acknowledge them. I mean, of course, we also have the actual expanded universe characters, but as far as like what's regarded to like what's canon, what characters are canon, Orsing is definitely canon, and stuff like that. So Disney just refuses to acknowledge that stuff and just like cram down certain roles and characters. So, oh yeah, and then before this, I was teetering if I was going to see episode 9 in theaters or not, but now I can definitely say that I'm not going to see episode 9, and if I really feel like, figuring out how the story goes, I will just look up the synopsis on Wikipedia if I really feel like it. Other than that, though, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the Han Solo film either. I wasn't necessarily going to see it anyway, but especially after everything else, I really have no desire to see it anymore. And while we're on the subject of Disney, let's move over to Marvel. Now I'm going to quickly glance over the film stuff because I don't have a problem with the films. I feel like they've done a good job with that. There hasn't been any like sort of political thing going on with that, so that's fine. But it's really sort of expectations, I guess you could say, that people have of me regarding it. And what I mean by that is the fact that I was asked if I had gone to see Black Panther or not. And it's sort of weird because, it's really mostly because I'm black, and so that's why people are sort of like asking or like saying that I should go and see it and stuff. And I have nothing against the film whatsoever. I'm happy that it's done well and that's successful at the box office, and even with reviews and stuff like that. But I just have no interest in seeing it at all. I'm not saying that's bad. It just doesn't interest me at all. The characters and I mean, I'm familiar with the character in some degrees, but I've never been really interested in it. And, I mean, if I liked him, I'd go see it, but I'm not. I mean, it's similar with the Guardians of the Galaxy. When it came out, like a majority of people, never even heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy series or the comics, and so I was just completely surprised, and so I just wanted to check it out, so I read some of the comic books. Or rather tried to. After a while reading them, I just got bored and I just couldn't stop reading them. And I couldn't continue reading them, so I decided I'm not going to go see the film because I'm not really interested. The characters didn't really draw me in or anything like that. I mean, I know it's sort of like a ragtag team of, I guess you could say, space superheroes, but it just didn't interest me. So I didn't see it. And even though, the film was successful and, people said it was good, I didn't see it. When the second one came out, I didn't see that one either because, like I said, the Guardians didn't interest me. And similar fashion, Black Panther doesn't interest me, so I'm not seeing it. And, wait. Oh yeah, and also, people, this is something also that, if people keep on hyping up and saying, keep on saying, I should see and stuff, but at the same time, where was this sort of hype going around, when we had the Blade and Steel films? I mean, granted, those were bad, but, at the same time, I just don't see the similar hype going around for, when we had its Static Shock series, back in, like, early 2000s, oh my gosh. And then even now, we have, Luke Cage and, Black Lightning, and I don't see really any hype going on about those, so I'm like, I don't get it. But as far as the actual comic books though, as far as the actual comics go, Marvel has gotten SJWs to write their comics, and it has caused their sales to drop tremendously. you can check all this out, all these details at the Diversity in Comics YouTube channel. That's actually where I found out a lot of this information. The guy over there does a lot of coverage on these details, and one of them was Riri Williams, a teenage black girl who became the next face of Iron Man as Ironheart. And then after watching Diversity in Comics videos, she was definitely an attempt at pandering. She definitely felt like a forced character, and, you know, I really definitely didn't like her at all. And then you also mentioned Captain Marvel, which is, you know, an attempt at feminism. And then last year at Free Comic Book Day, I remember, you know, getting free comics and stuff, and then I saw the free Avengers comic that they had, and then I looked at it, and then I saw that it had Miles Morales, aka the Black Spider-Man, the female Thor, and then what's else? Oh, just those. And you know, I didn't even bother reading it because, you know, I really feel like those are really unnecessary characters, you know, or people who are just like shoehorned in just for, you know, the sake of diversity and stuff like that. And like the last Marvel comic book that I've ever read would have been Ultimate Spider-Man pre Miles Morales. So that's like what, 2005? I think it was like Silver Sable or like sometime after, like maybe the Hobgoblin story arc. That's probably like the last one that I read. Now I haven't noticed too much of that sort of thing in DC Comics, stuff like that, but there are a few, I guess, sort of changes that caught my attention, I guess you could say, or that sort of concerned me. Like in the New 52, when that came out as part of the Justice League, they had Cyborg join the Justice League, which is weird because he's a Teen Titans member. But, you know, I sort of feel like they added him just to have a black character be on the Justice League, which, I mean, I'm not sure why, considering the fact that they could have added John Stewart, sort of like what they did with the 2002 series of Justice League. They added him in as the Green Lantern for that. So they could have done that, and that would have been fine. But, you know, the fact that they added Cyborg was really weird. Just adding him in there. I'm not saying that's why, but it's just really strange that they added him like that. Now, my big concern for DC Comics, and this is something that I found recently, was Ava DuVernay. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, but she is supposed to be directing a New Gods film. And to be honest, I never heard of her, like I said before, and it wasn't until I saw a video that was talking about her, and this really caught my attention. So I found that she directed the recent A Wrinkle in Time film, and it received mixed reception. And then, according to Wikipedia, critics weren't fond of the female empowerment and diversity message that the film portrayed. It also turns out that DuVernay is a civil rights activist. And that being said, do you think that having her make a New Gods film is a good idea? And I can honestly say no, because if she's a civil rights activist and, you know, the film she just directed had a lot of political tones in there, you can definitely say it's not safe. I mean, even if it was unintentional, I'm certain there's some way that her political views could enter the film production, and that's definitely not something you want to have. I'm not sure what Warner Brothers was thinking having her direct this, but it's definitely not good. I mean, New Gods film, that wouldn't be something that's on the same level as a Justice League film or something like that, or a high-tier superhero like Batman or Superman, or like Wonder Woman. this point, I can't really say Green Lantern since he's fallen from grace with the last film. Um, but the point is, I wouldn't trust her with that, especially considering the fact that the DCEU isn't doing so well right now. I mean, you had Batman vs Superman. I mean, I didn't think that was too bad, but the general consensus is that it was bad. And then also Justice League. I haven't seen that yet. Want to see that? Haven't seen that yet. But that didn't necessarily do too well either. And so, I mean, it's really bad because, I was very interested when I heard there was going to be a new Godzone because I want to see, Darkseid, Orion, Big Barda, and Mr. Miracle, and see a movie about them and stuff, and, but then knowing that we have this new director coming in, I'm a bit pessimistic. Sorry, but that's how I feel about it. Alright, and then the next topic is the world of video games, a place where SJWs like Anita Sarkeesian love to flock to. They say that there are no female characters who aren't, overly sexually objectified, and that there needs to be more diversity. And, apparently they never played a single Metroid game, Uncharted Lost Legacy, or Horizon Zero Dawn, where you actually have women who are the main characters and stuff like that. And, even Nintendo made a Super Princess Peach, made a game, Super Princess Peach, where Princess Peach actually is the one who rescues Mario this time. And they didn't, have any sort of political agenda or, like feminist rights or anything like that. It was just a game that they made, and, they just sort of like put a nice twist on it. That was very interesting, that what they did with that. But, they don't acknowledge these games at all. And it's really hard to understand because, it's not, I don't even think that they even play video games enough, or it's really just that they want to have control over a certain market, even though they're not doing anything to help support that market, which is, weird. And then there's another thing, which is really just a fan thing, but, saying that there needs to be a female Link, and, it's established that Link is a male. I mean, of course, Nintendo made Linkle, which is weird, but, it's not actually him. It's sort of like a Link fangirl who, like, wants to be Link in a way, which probably is, I don't know, it sort of seems like a jab at, the actual fangirls who want to be Link and stuff like that. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea why they keep trying to push this sort of thing, though. I mean, it's not like, anyone wants to say that, I want, like, a male Samus, or, a male Zelda, like that, but they keep trying to push for a, female Link, which is just really weird. Lastly, this is something that I also discovered recently, and that was Wizards of the Coast announced that they were going to change how they addressed Magic the Gathering players in regarding to like pronouns on the cards and stuff like that, and in order to make transgender people feel comfortable playing the game. And so instead of the card saying he or she or his or her, they will say they and their, which, why? what sense does that make? That doesn't make sense at all, because a transgender person would normally want to go by either like a he or she or his or her sort of thing, not as a they or their. And in trying to, it's weird because I'm like thinking like that, like because it says that stuff, what sense does it make to try to include them when it already has their sort of like pronoun right in there? And do you think people would try to play a game when, they probably weren't even interested in the first place, but just because you change, like, a pronoun thing, it's automatically, like, something that they'll automatically just jump on board? And, meanwhile, there are people who are concerned because, I haven't picked up any new packs, like, a long time. Like, last time I picked up a new, like, pack of Magic cards was, like, Journey to Nyx, I think that's what it was, or I can't remember what the actual name of the series was, but it was, like, the Roman, I think it was Roman. It was either Greek or Roman. It was like sort of like that sort of theme. That was the last time I that was been like what 4 years ago. But I've heard people complaining about the fact that there was a shortage on cards and stuff like that. Especially if it was hard to find like more rare cards, and so people are ticked about that, but were already upset about that. But then the fact that they just decide to go and change that for pandering, made people sort of want to drop support of the game. So that's definitely a problem. Now this video is definitely going, yeah, because I think that's the last thing. Alright, so the video is going longer than I anticipated, but I am going to stop right now. And long story short, this pandering turns all of these hobbies into just a cesspool of SJW propaganda. It's really not something that keeps me around, because I look at a hobby, if I feel like it's bad, I try to move on, because that's happened to me before, that I've had sort of hobbies or fandoms that I've been a part of, but because of certain things that they've done, I left. I stopped, supporting that, and I hated doing that, but I realized it's something I had to do. One thing though I'm glad is that Japan sort of seems to be one of the few places that are impervious to this sort of ideal or sort of thing. So props to them, because everyone else just seems to be trying to keep a profit and sort of keeping the fans happy, who have been there and supported it now. But that's really all I have to say about that. So let me know what you all think in the comments below. Until next time, everyone, I am iamxeracon signing off. Have a good one.